Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, RV extraordinaire, coming today to talk to you about how to properly operate your Dometic refrigerator. Now this is a newer one. This is a 2020 Imagine by Grand Design. So you might be seeing these out there. They might have different door fronts, might be a different color, but they're all going to operate the same. So if this is the one you have, stay tuned. For more information on this or any other campers for that matter, be sure if you call, if you email, or if you stop by Beckley's Camping Center, you do ask for Paul the Air Force guy. And if you're new to this channel, this is the first time you're watching, by all means subscribe down below here. And if you want to get notifications when my new videos are coming out, typically 2 to 3 videos a week, click that little bell and you'll be getting notifications. But let's get on to this Dometic refrigerator. Okay, so you're getting ready to go on a trip. You have this thing at your house, or you have it somewhere where you can plug into some 110 power. Even if you're using an adapter, you can still utilize your refrigerator. Understand that your refrigerator is going to need a good 12 to 24 hours for it to cool down. So here's what you do is you're going to plug in to power and then you're going to turn it on. Now the way you turn it on this particular one, notice it didn't have anything on the outside. You have right up here, we're going to turn it on. Now right now, notice how you didn't see any lights coming on. I'm going to get it a little bit closer so you can see. So you're going to have different lights here. What you have is, when you turn it on here, over here you have automatic, you have gas or AC. Now because the fact that we are not hooked up to propane, I hear it trying to light, and here in a moment you're going to see, you hear the beeping? That lets you know it did not light. What I want to do is I want to be in the auto mode so that it goes over to AC. Now notice how it's continuing to tell you to check. What you need to do at this point is shut it off. You wait a moment and you want to turn it back on. Now I'm going to explain to you how you want to go to propane here in a moment. But now here in a moment you see it's in auto, it's doing its check, and now the AC light comes on, telling you you're on 110 power. On this side over here, this is your temperature. Now my recommendation would be to start it at number 5, but let me show you one other thing too. After you set the temperature there, some people fail to realize that right in here, that this is connected to it, and you need to make sure that it's pulled up as high as it can go. And let me show you how that works. Now something you want to do every time you're turning your temperature on is make sure that this wire is pushed up underneath. You have a little tray here for water, and it dumps to the outside. I'll go over that in a minute. But make sure that's pulled up all where it's supposed to be. Then you have this piece here. So what it does is, you want to have it this direction. This piece is going on the fin. That other wire is going to go right up in here. So all you do is get it on there, put it on the fin, and you want to just push it up until you see that thing start falling out of there. So now you're set and your refrigerator is going to cool down. Remember, it's going to take a good 12 to 24 hours for it to cool down. Okay, so now you're set. You have your temperature set. It's Wednesday. I'm just using Wednesday as an example. So Wednesday, you went ahead and turned them on. Thursday, you're going to go ahead and put things in the freezer that are already frozen. And then you're going to put things in the refrigerator that are already cold. You don't want to be taking things out of your garage that are warm and hot and putting them in here. So now that's on Thursday. Friday, you're getting ready to leave. And what you want to do is, you're going to hook up your vehicle. You're still plugged in to 110 power. You hook up to your vehicle, get that all set up. Then you're going to come in here. Well, first of all, you want to, before you come in here, open your LP bottles. Make sure that you open them slowly. You're going to come in, first thing you're going to do is light the burners on your cooktop. You light all the burners and then shut them off. What you've just done there is you bled the LP from the LP bottles up until that point. And that will give you a better opportunity of your refrigerator actually lighting the first time. Now, once you light those and shut them off, then you go out, you get your extension, your electrical cord, you disconnect, put it away, and you're going to come back in and you're going to check right up here to make sure that it's switched over to gas and make sure that that check light isn't going off. Now you'll hear it. You see they set it up with the signal. Some of the other ones out here you don't hear, but this one is actually making a sound to you. And as long as that has switched over and there's no sound coming from it, you're good to go. If, in fact, you find that it's too cold for your stuff in the refrigerator, you can turn the temperature down on that. It goes from 1 to 5. So now you're ready to go down the road. Couple things to keep in mind as you're traveling down the road. One, you have an open flame out here. So if you have to stop for fuel, make sure before you pull up to the pumps that somebody comes in here and shuts that off. So you shut it off, you pull up to the pump. When you're done fueling up, then you pull away from the pumps, somebody comes back in here, turns it back on, and you want to wait 1 minute. You saw how long it took it actually for it to go through its system check. Make sure that it does go ahead and light again, and then you're on the way. Now, plan your trips accordingly, because if you are going through tunnels, now if you're going underwater tunnels, they don't allow people with LP bottles through those. So make sure you plan your trips accordingly. And it is safe, contrary to what some people tell you, it is safe to tow this with the LP running. And it does a phenomenal job. If you ever get to a campsite and you find that your breakers are, maybe you're on a 30 amp campsite, maybe it's really hot and you're having an issue with popping breakers because maybe you're throwing a hairdryer on or whatever because you got your air conditioner running, well then just switch this to propane and that'll take 6 amps off of the system and allow it to be used for other things. Now something else you got to keep in mind with this is when you close this door, make sure you hear that click, because if you don't hear that click and you think it's closed, you could be in for a rude awakening when you get to your campsite and find everything laying here on the ground. Now, let me tell you a little bit about something that's inside of here that you should be checking, and that is this little tray back here. You should be checking that on a regular basis to make sure that that is draining to the outside and is draining to the proper location. And what you do is you'll dump water here, and then you'll go outside and see if it's coming out in the proper location. Let me show you where that is. Now what you need to do is you just need to locate the back side of your refrigerator, and you're going to see a door like this. Now some of you might need a key to get this off, and they do not provide the key. But the good thing is any coin will do. Just put the little coin in there and it'll unlock it. So for those of you that maybe they're too tight, just use one of those and this thing just pulls back off. It's that simple. So what you have here, you have to remove the panel, and you can see this is your drain tube right here. And it should be draining out right here. If it's not draining out there, your problem is going to be on the inside, and you're going to want to go ahead and clear that up. Sometimes food might get down here and clog this up, at which point you're going to just pull it off of here, okay, and then you can clean this piece off right here. Make sure you clean it out real good, and then you can just put it right back on there. Okay. Now some of you might have something else out here, but you'll have some type of drain tube, and that's what you want to be checking. Now to put these things back on, make sure that you are putting them on correctly. Last thing you want to do is not have them on and you go down the road and they fall off. So make sure that you have them on. Don't be afraid to hit that to make sure it goes in properly. Make sure it's flush. You can check it by pulling on it, and that way then you know it's on there. Now on the inside, this is your tray where it's going down, and you're going to notice a little drain right back here. Now for some reason you see the water spilling out over top of that, well then it's clogged either right here or outside like we checked. If you have to, get yourself some type of wire, flexible type wire, and be careful with that, and go ahead, you pull this tray out of here, as you can see, get that out of your way, and then you can go ahead and try to clear that hole. Maybe a piece of food fell in it, but if you need to go ahead and maybe force something down to get it to come out the other end. So that's right in there. As you can see, the stuff, you might want to take this off, clean this every now and again as well. See, this is what the tray looks like. Now, something else that I see happen a lot with RV refrigerators is people will go ahead and stack a bunch of things right here on this top shelf and on this second shelf, and then this stuff will freeze up here. This stuff down here won't be very, very cold. So what you've got to do is keep in mind that there's no air circulation in these refrigerators. So you want to give some spaces on this top shelf as well as the second shelf to allow air to drop down. Another thing you could do is you can get a little fan that would circulate air in here, which will be helpful. Now, for those of you that are using your RV refrigerator and it is in really hot conditions, something you might want to consider doing is they do make 12-volt fans that go on the backside to circulate that air on the backside because it's using heat to cool. Kind of a misnomer, right? But by having that air circulation, you're going to move that air and you're going to keep the back a little bit cooler, allowing this to be more efficient. So a little bit tidbit of information for you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, how to operate your newer Dometic refrigerator. And it's pretty much the same thing for other RV refrigerators as well, except for the electric ones. A lot of electric ones, they cool down very, very quickly. So, but keep in mind, give it a good 12 to 24 hours. Don't think that after a few hours you're going to go ahead and be able to use it, because it doesn't work that way. In the event that you're afraid of driving with propane down the road, you can just shut it off because you had it closed for a whole day. It'll stay nice and cold for a couple hours while you get to the campground. So if you're not going too far, you could always do it that way. So hopefully that helped you out. Again, remember to subscribe to my channel. Keep up to date on the latest and greatest in dealing with RVs. I do appreciate it. Appreciate your feedback as well. And I'll be coming back at you again soon. Take care.